The 1979 $1 coin of the United States of America is popularly known as the Susan B. Anthony dollar, named after the famous social reformer and women's rights activist Susan B. Anthony, who played a major role in the women's suffrage movement. It was the first U.S. circulating coin to feature a real historical woman instead of a symbolic figure like Liberty. This coin was introduced to replace the larger Eisenhower dollar, which was considered too heavy and bulky for daily transactions. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was smaller, closer in size to a quarter, and was officially minted from 1979 to 1981, and then again in 1999 for a short revival. The obverse side front of the coin features a portrait of Susan B. Anthony, designed by chief engraver Frank Gasparo. Around the portrait are 13 stars, representing the original 13 colonies, along with the inscriptions Liberty, the national motto, In God We Trust, and the minting year 1979. If the coin has a D-Mint mark, it means it was produced at the Denver Mint. Millions of these were struck in Denver, making it one of the more common mint varieties. On the reverse side back of the coin, the design is also by Frank Gasparo and is the same as the Eisenhower dollar, an image of a bald eagle landing on the moon, inspired by the Apollo 11 mission insignia. It also includes the inscriptions United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and the denomination $1. This design celebrated the space-age achievements of the United States and symbolized American power and freedom. In terms of composition, the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar is made from a copper-nickel-clad alloy with an inner core of pure copper and an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel. Its weight is about 8.1 grams, with a diameter of 26.5 millimeters. Unlike silver dollars of the past, this coin has no silver content, which is why its intrinsic metal value is quite low compared to earlier U.S. dollar coins. Now, talking about the value and market details, because so many of these coins were minted the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar is considered common in circulated condition. In general circulation, its value is $1, the same as its face value, because of its high mintage. However, for collectors, the real value lies in condition and grading. A coin in average circulated condition typically sells for around $1.25 to $2.50 in today's market. Uncirculated examples in mint state MS-60, MS-63 range from $3 to $5, while higher grades like MS-65 can bring $10 to $15. Coins graded MS-67 and above, which are very hard to find due to strike quality issues, can sell for $100 or more at auctions. There are also some special varieties and errors that increase the coin's value significantly. For example, the 1979 wide rim or near date variety is especially valuable in Philadelphia minted coins without mint mark, but the Denver issues don't usually have this variety. Still, collectors often seek out coins with proof-like surfaces, off-center strikes, double dies, or minting errors that can raise values from tens to hundreds of dollars depending on rarity. Overall, the 1979 D$1 Susan B. Anthony coin represents an important era in U.S. coinage, even though it was not very popular in circulation because people confuse it with a quarter due to its small size. Today, it is appreciated by collectors and history enthusiasts for its unique place as the first U.S. coin to honor a real woman, its connection to the space program, and its symbolic representation of equality and progress in America. While most coins remain affordable and accessible, high-grade examples and rare error coins can command strong prices, making this dollar an interesting collectible with a story that connects social history, politics, and space exploration all in one coin. Another important aspect of the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar is its historical significance in U.S. coinage transition. Before 1979, Americans were used to large-sized dollar coins, such as the Eisenhower dollar, 1971 to 1978. However, the U.S. Mint believed that the public would accept a smaller dollar coin that was easier to carry in wallets, coin rolls, and vending machines. Unfortunately, the plan did not work as expected. People found the Susan B. Anthony dollar confusing because it looked and felt too similar to the Washington quarter. This confusion was a big reason why the coin was never widely accepted in everyday use, despite being struck in massive numbers. The Denver Mint D-Mark, in 1979, produced more than 288 million Susan B. Anthony dollars, making it one of the most heavily minted modern U.S. coins. Because of this large mintage, the 1979 D-coin is still very common today, both in circulation and in collector markets. If someone finds one in their pocket change, it usually will not be worth much more than its face value. But when a coin is kept in pristine, uncirculated condition straight from the mint, its collectible premium increases. Collectors especially value coins that have been graded by professional services such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. When it comes to collector interest, the Susan B. Anthony Dollar series is sometimes overlooked compared to earlier silver dollars like the Morgan dollar or Peace dollar. However, modern collectors are beginning to recognize the importance of these coins as historical artifacts. The 1979 issues, in particular, hold a special place since they represent the very beginning of the series. Collectors often try to build complete date and mint sets, including coins from Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver D, and San Francisco S, which produce proof coins. Another point of note is that the design of Susan B. Anthony on the coin was met with mixed reactions. Some praised the bold move to honor a real woman in U.S. coinage, while others criticized the small size and lack of beauty compared to earlier designs like Lady Liberty or the flowing hair motifs of classic dollars. Over time, however, the coin has gained respect as an important symbol of women's history in America. In fact, it paved the way for later coins such as the Sacagawea dollar and Presidential dollar series, which continued the trend of featuring historical figures. From an investment perspective, the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar is not considered a high-value rarity, but it can still be worthwhile to hold in bulk or in high grades. For example, a certified MS-67 1979 D-Dollar can sell for $200 to $300 at auctions, and extremely rare error coins, such as off-metal strikes or major double dies, can sometimes bring in thousands of dollars. These are exceptions, but they highlight the fact that even common coins can have hidden gems if examined carefully. In modern coin collecting circles, the Susan B. Anthony dollar has developed something of a cult following. Young collectors and beginners often start their dollar coin collections with this series because it's affordable, easy to find, and rich in history. At the same time, advanced collectors look for top-grade certified coins to complete their registry sets. The Denver issues, including the 1979 D, are seen as a cornerstone of collection. In summary, the 1979 D$1 Susan B. Anthony coin may not be rare or highly valuable in most cases, but it carries enormous historical and cultural significance. It tells the story of America's attempt to modernize its coinage, celebrate equality by honoring a woman on currency, and connect national pride with achievements like the Apollo 11 moon landing. For most people, it is worth only about $1 to $5, but in special conditions and era varieties, it can fetch hundreds of dollars. This makes the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar not only a piece of money, but also a piece of American history that collectors can hold in their hands. The 1981 dollar coin of the United States of America, better known as the Susan B. Anthony dollar, holds a very special place in American numismatic history. The series was first introduced in 1979 and continued until 1981, and then again in 1999. The year 1980 represents the second year of production, and coins from this year are easily recognizable due to their bold design and their important connection to America's push for more modern circulating coinage. This dollar was introduced to replace the larger Eisenhower dollar because that coin was too big, too heavy, and inconvenient for everyday transactions. The U.S. Mint decided to make a smaller dollar, similar in size to a quarter, which unfortunately created confusion among the public, leading to the Susan B. Anthony dollar being unpopular in circulation. The obverse front side of the 1981 dollar coin features a detailed portrait of Susan B. Anthony, the famous suffragist and women's rights activist who fought for women's right to vote in the 19th century. Designed by Frank Gasparo, the coin shows her facing right, with the word liberty at the top, the motto, "In God We Trust," to the right, and the date 1980 at the bottom. Around the rim are 13 stars, symbolizing the original 13 colonies of the United States. Just next to the date, or near Susan B. Anthony's shoulder, you will see the mint mark. In this case, the P mint mark indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Interestingly, 1980 was the first year when the Philadelphia Mint began placing the P mint mark on dollar coins, making it historically significant. The reverse backside of the coin carries over the powerful design from the Eisenhower dollar, which depicts the Apollo 11 mission insignia, showing an American eagle landing on the moon with an olive branch in its talons, symbolizing peace. The background includes the surface of the moon with craters, and the Earth can be seen above. Surrounding the design are 13 stars and the inscriptions United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and $1. This reverse design strongly connects the coin to America's pride in space exploration and the success of the Apollo missions. In terms of coin specifications, the 1980 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar is composed of a copper-nickel clad mixture with a pure copper core and layers of copper-nickel alloy on the outside. The coin has a standard weight of 8.1 grams, a diameter of 26.5 millimeters, and a reeded edge. Its small size and reeded edge made it difficult to distinguish from the quarter dollar in circulation, which was one of the reasons for its failure in everyday use. Still, it remains an iconic collectible in U.S. coinage history. When it comes to mintage figures, the 1980 P1 coin was produced in fairly high numbers. The Philadelphia Mint struck 27,610,000 pieces for circulation. Because of this relatively large number, the coin is not considered rare in its normal circulated condition. However, uncirculated coins, proof coins, and coins with special errors or varieties can command higher values in today's collector market. Now, talking about errors and varieties, some 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollars have been found with interesting mistakes such as off-center strikes, clip planchets, weak strikes, or double-die varieties. These types of coins are much more desirable to collectors and can be worth many times more than a regular coin. Another point of interest is high-grade mint state examples, MS-66, MS-67, or higher, which are significantly more valuable than average circulated examples because sharp, clean strikes with no scratches or blemishes are much harder to find. In the modern dollar coin market, the 1980 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar has a modest base value. In circulated condition, most examples are worth around $1.05 to $2.50, which is only slightly above their face value. However, in uncirculated mint state condition, prices rise significantly. A typical uncirculated coin may fetch between $5 and $15, while higher grades like MS-65 or MS-66 can go for $40 to $100 depending on demand. Coins graded MS-67 are rare and can bring hundreds of dollars, sometimes even above $500 in auctions. Error coins and proof-like strikes can fetch even more depending on rarity. Collectors appreciate the 1980 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar, not only for its history and design, but also because it was part of the first small-sized dollar series in U.S. history. Even though the series was not successful in daily commerce, it remains a crucial learning step in America's journey of coinage evolution, leading eventually to the Sacagawea dollar and presidential dollar series later on. For this reason, every serious U.S. collector tries to keep the 1980 P in their collection, both as a circulated piece and in high mint state. In conclusion, the 1981 dollar P mint mark coin is a fascinating collectible with strong historical significance. While it may not make you instantly rich in average condition, its story, design, and the important role it played in American coinage history make it very collectible. If you find one in high grade, or if you come across an error coin, it can be worth much more than face value in today's collector market. The collectability and demand for the 1980 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar has grown steadily over the years, especially as younger collectors become more interested in modern U.S. coins. Unlike silver dollars of earlier times, these coins do not have intrinsic metal value, since they are copper-nickel clad, but their importance lies in their design, symbolism, and role in American monetary history. The portrait of Susan B. Anthony was groundbreaking, as she became the first real woman, not allegorical figure like Liberty, to appear on circulating U.S. coinage. This was a landmark decision by the U.S. Mint and the Treasury Department, symbolizing the progress of women's rights in America. Another interesting fact about the 1980 P$1 coin is that the Philadelphia Mint first introduced the P mint mark on this coinage year, marking a new chapter in how mint marks were used. Before this, Philadelphia coins usually had no mint mark at all, so for collectors this detail adds historical weight. Many hobbyists and numismatists value this year for that reason alone. In terms of investment potential, while the coin is common in circulation, higher-grade examples are the true treasures. Collectors pay premium prices for coins certified by grading companies such as PGS or NGC in top conditions like MS66 or MS67. These coins show full luster, sharp details, and almost no marks or blemishes. Because such examples are rare, they command much higher prices. For instance, while a circulated example may only fetch $1 or $2, a pristine certified MS67 coin could bring hundreds of dollars at auction. Another factor driving value is coin errors. Collectors and specialists often hunt for unique striking errors like off-center strikes, die cracks, double dies, or clip planchets. These rare mistakes often turn a low-value coin into a highly desirable collectible worth many times more than face value. For example, a double die 1980 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar could easily sell for $200 or more, depending on the strength of the error and the overall grade. The historical context of this coin is also important. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was not well received by the public because it was too close in size to the Washington quarter. Cashiers and customers frequently confused the two, leading to frustration. As a result, the coin saw very little use in circulation. Many were stored in bank vaults for years and were later released only when dollar coins were in demand. This unpopularity, however, makes the coin historically unique. It tells the story of how the U.S. struggled to create a practical small dollar coin. Collectors today appreciate the 1980 P dollar for this very reason. It is a coin that represents trial, error, and change in the American currency system. Without the Susan B. Anthony dollar experiment, the later Sacagawea dollar and presidential dollars may never have taken shape. This adds extra cultural value for history lovers and coin enthusiasts alike. When looking at the current market value, we can summarize it like this. Circulated condition, $1.05 to $2.50. Uncirculated condition, MS60, MS64.5 to $15. High mint state, MS65, MS6640 to $100. Gem condition, MS67, and above $300 to $600 plus. Error varieties, $50 to several $100s, depending on rarity. For collectors who want a complete Susan B. Anthony dollar set, the 1980 P is an essential coin alongside its 1979, 1980D, 1980S, and proof versions. Having this in high grade adds great value and beauty to any collection. Even though it is not a silver coin, its history, symbolism, and design make it stand out in U.S. numismatic history. The 1999 $1 coin is one of the most fascinating pieces of modern U.S. coinage because it represents a transition period from the older Susan B. Anthony dollar design to the newer Sacagawea dollar that would be introduced in 2000. The coin minted in 1999 with the P mint mark, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, holds a unique place in American numismatic history. In fact, the U.S. Mint had discontinued the Susan B. Anthony dollar back in 1981 after poor public reception, but due to a sudden demand for dollar coins in vending machines and public transportation systems in the late 1990s, the Mint authorized a final production run in 1999 before moving on to the new golden-colored Sacagawea dollar. This makes the 1999 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar a short-lived issue with special historical importance. The design of the coin follows a classic Susan B. Anthony dollar layout, first introduced in 1979. The obverse front features a portrait of Susan B. Anthony, the famous suffragist and women's rights activist, facing right. Around her image are the inscriptions Liberty at the top, the year of issue 1999 at the bottom, and the motto, "In God We Trust." 13 stars representing the original colonies surround the portrait, giving the coin a patriotic feel. The reverse back showcases an adapted version of the Apollo 11 mission insignia, depicting an American eagle landing on the moon with an olive branch in its claws. Above the eagle is the phrase United States of America and E Pluribus Unum, while the denomination $1 is seen near the bottom. This powerful design connects the coin not only to American history, but also to the triumph of space exploration, one of the most significant aspects of the 1999 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar is its rarity when compared to other issues of the series. Unlike the 1979, 1980, and 1981 strikes that were produced in large numbers, the 1999 P and 1999 D issues were minted only in limited quantities. The Philadelphia Mint struck around 29.6 million pieces, which might sound large, but is relatively low compared to hundreds of millions of earlier issues. This smaller mintage immediately gave the coin a collectible edge, since it was both the final year of the Susan B. Anthony series and a short production run before the Sacagawea design was introduced. Collectors often seek out this date to complete their sets, making it more desirable than the common 1979 strikes. The metal composition of the 1999 P dollar follows the same specifications as the rest of the series. It is made of a copper-nickel clad composition, with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The coin has a diameter of 26.5 millimeters, a thickness of 2.0 millimeters, and a weight of 8.1 grams. Its edge is reeded, similar to quarters and dimes, giving a familiar feel to the public. Unlike the Sacagawea dollar that came later in a golden color, the 1999 P coin has a silvery appearance, which often led confusion with quarters, another reason the series never gained wide popularity in everyday transactions. When it comes to value, the 1999 P Susan B. Anthony dollar holds strong collector demand. In circulated condition, these coins are generally worth between $2 and $5, which is already above face value due to their relative scarcity. In uncirculated condition, especially those graded MS65 or higher, values typically range from $15 to $40, depending on the coin's luster, strike quality, and preservation. High-grade examples certified by professional grading services, such as PCGS or NGC, can bring in even more, sometimes exceeding $100 for superb gem examples. There are also proof versions struck at the San Francisco Mint, which collectors value even more highly. The Philadelphia Mint 1999 issue, however, is the regular business strike that still stands out as a key modern dollar coin. The coin also attracts attention from collectors interested in varieties and errors. Some 1999 P. Susan B. Anthony dollars display striking errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, or planchet mistakes, which can dramatically increase the value. For example, an off-center strike or a dramatic misalignment could fetch anywhere between $100 and several $100s depending on its rarity and visibility. Collectors who specialize in error coins often prize the 1999 P due to its final year status and relative scarcity compared to earlier dates. Another factor that boosts the desirability of the 1999 P coin is its place in U.S. coin history. It serves as the closing chapter of the Susan B. Anthony series, which itself was groundbreaking as the first U.S. circulating coin to depict a real woman instead of an allegorical figure. Though the coin was criticized during its original run for being too similar in size and color to a quarter, it has since become symbolic of the Mint's experimentation in creating a usable small dollar coin. In this sense, the 1999 P is not just a collectible, but also a historical marker of America's transition into modern coinage styles. In today's coin market, the 1999 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar remains a steady collector's favorite. While it may not reach the astronomical values of ancient rarities or precious metal coins, it carries solid value due to its limited mintage, unique history, and strong demand among those assembling complete sets of U.S. dollars. For new collectors, it is a relatively affordable but historically rich piece to start with, while for seasoned collectors, it is a must-have coin that marks the end of an important chapter in numismatic history.